All right, let's talk Miami Hurricanes football. Obviously, this is a team under Coach Cristobal that's built all kinds of momentum as we get closer to the regular season. And we've got some great news in terms of the Miami Hurricanes prospects for the upcoming season. I'm Nick, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, this Miami squad has slowly but surely built a talented group. Coach Cristobal's done a phenomenal job in the recruiting game, in the transfer game. We've got great reports over spring ball and over summer camp as well. Now we're deep in the fall camp, training camp, and the regular season is almost here. And we're starting to see the experts, the guys who really know the game, come out and say, listen, this Miami Hurricanes team, this is a real team to watch. And we've got one in particular that's giving Miami Hurricanes the nod to win the ACC this upcoming season. Let's pull up this report courtesy of Athlon Sports. Under head coach Steve Sarkisian, the Texas Longhorns went from an 8-win team in 2022 to nearly reaching the national championship game last season. Greg McElroy, a very smart guy, Nick Saban favorite at the University of Alabama, knows football, smart person, mentioned another program that could have a similar jump on a recent edition of Always College Football. He thought the Miami Hurricanes would make a Texas-like leap in 2024. Here's my top team in the ACC, McElroy said. It's the Miami Hurricanes. Now you're going to say, well, Mario Cristobal is 12 and 13. Well, I think that he inherited a very difficult situation. True. First and foremost, I look at this roster and I remember people losing their minds last season about the Texas Longhorns. We had Texas ranked number 6 in the preseason last year. Basically what McElroy said, he said, listen, people going into the 2023 season, they did not think Texas was going to be as good, top 4 team, beating Alabama in Tuscaloosa as Texas ended up being. McElroy is seeing the same kind of attributes in terms of talent and roster on the field for this Miami Hurricane squad. And I think that's a great sign for Cristobal and company. Myers, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. But first, Miami fans, in the comment section below, regular season nearly here. Now's your chance. Give us your final prediction, win and loss record for the 2024 Miami Hurricanes. Want to hear you guys. Let us know final predictions, what the record will be. Put it in the comment section below. But Myers, give me your thoughts on this news, and everything going on with the Miami Hurricanes.
Yeah, Nick, I think this is great news for the Miami Hurricanes because one thing we like to talk about on this channel and across all of our channels really is corroborating evidence. It's one thing to say, okay, we've got this coach saying something good about his team or a teammate saying something good about another player. That's fine, but that's expected. No one's ever going to say anything bad along those lines. But when an outside source comes in and really starts to give a team praise, that's something that you can really hang your hat on. That's something that you can buy into because this is somebody that's unbiased looking in on your organization saying, hey, I see the same things that the team is talking about. I see the same things that coaches and other players are talking about. And when you talk about Greg McElroy, this is a guy who knows what he's talking about. At Alabama, won national championship in 2010. And we talked about Texas. He played Texas in the national championship. Probably irrelevant to what I'm saying, but just a fun fact there as well. I think this is good because you see Texas, they kind of did explode onto the scene. They were a team that really was surprisingly good. We thought they were going to be pretty good. I don't think people expected them to be quite as good as they were. When we talk about Miami with Cam Ward now, with all of these top tier free agents or veterans in transfer portal coming over to Miami, you're seeing a much different team. This is a team I think that went from pretty good to really good really quickly with the addition of a few key players here. They've got some really nice young guys in this on this roster as well now. I think Miami overall is the team that I see as making prime to be the biggest jump in the rankings, and I would agree with McElroy. I say this team is definitely primed to make a big run, definitely to win the ACC, but I think this is a team that easily makes the college football playoff and they can make a run, especially with the revised format this year. This is a team that looks really nice, and I think a lot of people are about to be surprised by what Miami puts on the field.
You mentioned the phrase free agency, right? That's from the NFL where average teams, good teams can, take that big step with one offseason with a number of key free agency signings. That's essentially what Miami did this offseason, namely with the addition of Cam Ward. Of course, they had a lot of other great additions as well. So this was a team, they disappointed last year. I think we all looked at that. They were better than their record showed in terms of talent, and they got significantly better, a lot better this offseason. They basically fixed their biggest problem. So they're headed into the 2024 season with a lot of momentum, but so much success in college football can be predicated on your schedule. And when we look at Miami's schedule, it's pretty favorable, right? They open up against Florida. Like, Florida's kind of a dumpster fire right now. I think Miami wins that game pretty easily. Then they get Florida A&M, Ball State, South Florida. I think they handle that. They get Vodtech at home. They have to go to California, which stinks, but then they get a week off after that long travel before they go to Louisville. And then most importantly, they get Florida State at home, right? So this is a very favorable schedule. Then they finish up with Duke, Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, Syracuse, right? So they get a lot of momentum here down the home stretch. I don't, maybe one loss there, maybe, like, unless the injury bug really hits them. And that's something to say at this Miami Hurricanes team. Then you go into the ACC championship game, you win that, there you go. You win the ACC title, you're obviously going to the playoff. The path is clearly there for Miami. And we're not just saying this in terms of, well, we think they'll win if all the stars align. Frankly, they should. They've got the talent. This is Cristobal building this team in the right direction. Great mix of freshmen coming in, older guys stepping up, and transfers as well. This team is 100% to make a big move this year. McElroy recognizes it, and I think everyone in college football will soon enough too.